OK, now the mounting pressure on Andrea Pirlo after Juventus were knocked out of the Champions League last 16 stage for the second year running. They lost on away goals to Porto, despite the Portuguese side playing the majority of the game with 10 men. We can now speak live to Italian football expert Mina Rzouki. Great to see you, Mina. Pirlo is adamant that this is just the beginning of his project at Juve. Does he still have full support of the club?
He does seem to actually have the full support of the club. I think that the expectations of Massimiliano Allegri and Maurizio Sarri were rather different because they came into Juventus with big CVs, having won and accomplished different things in their career. They knew when they chose Pirlo that their problems could arise. He was, of course, a rookie coach with simply a philosophy and absolutely no experience. He was supposed to be in a job with the under-23 side, but they obviously decided to give him the big job. So to not expect any teething problems would be very silly on their behalf. So they understand this is going to take some time. Of course, we can question the management of that, considering this is a side that had brought in Ronaldo and had made it very clear that the Champions League was their target. It seems strange that they did go for a rookie coach, but if they have done that decision, there's a great relationship between Andrea Agnelli and Pirlo. So it seems for the moment they're going to stick with him.
And Mina, they are 10 points behind Milan. So would that remain the same if they didn't win the league?
Well, this is the interesting question. I mean, when you think about it, Inter are, like you say, 10 points ahead. Juventus do have a game in hand, so they could shorten it by not by much. But they were also a team that were in 3 competitions until yesterday. And Inter had dropped out of both the Coppa Italia and the Champions League early on. So they have had a week to prepare for their games. So it's a different concept. They are paying their coach Antonio Conte 12.5 million. They are really gung-ho about trying to win the league title, whereas Juventus had started this new project. They do want to play more enterprising football. They did believe in Andrea Pirlo. Like I said, you can ask questions of the fact that they've decided to go with this, considering the fact they do have Cristiano Ronaldo. Perhaps not a time to start a project, but really come to the end of one and try to win the trophies that matter the most to them, which are the ones in Europe. But even if he doesn't win anything, he's already lifted 1 trophy in the Super Coppa. They do believe in him because of the relationship he does have with veterans, including Cristiano Ronaldo. And so for the moment, whatever happens going forward, I think at least till the end of the season, he'll remain. And then they might make their assessments then to see who's available and what they plan on going to do going forward.
You mentioned Ronaldo there. He's been criticised by Fabio Capello after Porto's decisive free kick went through his legs. What has been the reaction there to Ronaldo's form over the 2 legs?
I think that he's gotten a lot of criticism for it's exactly that you mentioned about him turning his back in that free kick, about the fact that the whole point of Juventus purchasing Cristiano Ronaldo was to win the coveted Champions League. And it seems that they haven't progressed despite the fact that he is within their ranks. If anything, they had reached 2 Champions League finals without him. And ever since he's come on, it hasn't gone that way. But I think the bigger problem has to be that it's not about Ronaldo. The fact is that they brought in this huge player, but didn't offer him the support cast required. At the end of the day, if you don't have a Luka Modric or a Casemiro and Toni Kroos behind you, then it becomes very hard. And when you look at the way that Juventus has been built, there's huge tactical imbalances all over the pitch. The squad doesn't have a good enough midfield. They have a Pirlo on the bench, but no Pirlo on the actual team to deliver the kind of passes or to deliver the kind of visions that is required. So if you are going to buy Ronaldo, then you need to be able to not just have a luxury player and surround him with mediocrity. You need to have a plan in place. And I think that despite all of that, the project can be deemed a failure on the sporting project because they haven't won very much. But at least on a financial level, the kind of coverage they've had because of Ronaldo, their brand name has exponentially grown. And in that term, they think it's a massive success. But of course, he is going to get a lot of the criticism because he is the leader of this team. And apparently the man that if Juventus fail will be blamed on him. But if they win, it's also credited to him.
Can you see Ronaldo still at Juventus next season?
This is an interesting question because people are wondering whether or not, the 2 serve one another. Will Ronaldo actually win anything with Juventus, what he wants to win, another Champions League? And considering their finances, the way that they've been hit with the coronavirus, they might not be able to produce the kind of team and the cohesive unit they need to make Ronaldo happy on that level. But on another level, perhaps they need to start a new project, one that doesn't feature a Galactico, a star name, and just go back to basics, which is about good scouting, trying to find, the young, cheap, wonderful players that they did at the start that had led them to 2 Champions League finals. So do the two need one another? It looks like for the moment they have him for another year. He seemed very happy at Juventus. Of course, now things might have changed, but he does seem very content there. His family is very content there. So I'm not sure he's going to want to end the adventure just yet. So I think one more season and then we can see what happens.